Welcome to Dad's Anime Stash. Let's send it over to our host, Justin.
That's amazing. I appreciate that.
Hey there, kiddos. Looks like you found your dad's anime stash. We are not a podcast. Thanks for tuning in. This week, you tuned into a good one. We have our special guest, Bambi Raptor.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm Bambi Raptor, or you may know me as Jacob from the Anna Buddies, but probably not. But now you do. Um, but yeah, happy to be here.
We appreciate you coming on such short notice.
Yeah, I got the message, and he said God of High School, and this is something that I'm down to talk about, but I don't think we're ever going to cover it on my podcast because my co-host has a large vendetta against it.
Interesting. Who's your co-host specifically? Which one?
Alex. The other one is, there's another one, but he does. Alex is the one that's definitely going to be a no on it.
Let's talk about that vendetta for 2.5 minutes.
2.5. All right, we'll start. Specifically, I believe this is he said this is the second worst anime he has ever seen. I think the worst one is something called Charlotte. Not sure if you're familiar with that. Probably not. It doesn't look very good.
We've watched a lot of bad anime, so maybe we'll run across it.
It's interesting that he hates this one so much, because I don't want to get too much into my personal thoughts on it quite yet, but it seems like there's some inconsistencies with some other stuff that he likes. That like he likes that for the same reasons that he dislikes this. So
interesting.
It doesn't quite make sense to me, but everyone's got their different opinions and stuff. Some people don't like stuff that you'd think would be in the same exact realm of stuff they really like.
So listen, his emotions aren't there to make sense to you. Okay?
Yeah.
I think you need to be more understanding and try to get to the heart of the matter.
Yeah. I think we might need to go to couples therapy for this one.
Well, I was talking, no, not you and him and the anime.
Oh, well, we could go to throuples therapy for
therapy.
The triple dynamic.
I mean, not a thing. It should be. I watch so much Frasier. I should be a throuples therapist. I think I could do that.
You probably have to relocate to like Utah to really get a good business flow.
How do you know?
Unless you're in Utah already? Yeah, that's fair.
They don't really have throuples in Utah. They have polygamy, but the women are not part of the throuple. There would be a man married to a woman, then he'd be married to another woman, but the two women would not be married to each other.
Does it require the like? I don't want to get into the strict.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the strict. The specifics of the throuple, but I just kind of thought it was like 3 people with whatever kind of engagement, but it has to be a full, complete triangle.
It's got to be a complete triangle. It's the only way. That's the only way I'll talk to them.
Oh, all right.
Speaking of throuple, this anime that we're reviewing today, God of High School, has a great throuple.
It does not have a throuple. You don't know what you're talking about. You never have, and you never will, and you're ugly.
Eventually, something smart comes off. I mean, it's probably off screen when it does show up, but I feel like I'm there for that. But there is a triangle, I feel like, with the Mori Jin, was it Daiwei Han, and the chick with the moonlight sword?
Something you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, from what I recall, there's some interesting relationship dynamics between the 3 of them.
It
has been a minute since I saw this, but I remember. Some.
Maybe I took this the wrong way. I thought you was in love with her roommate. Did I imagine that? She lives with this girl, and then she was about to marry some rich martial artist, and I felt like her and that girl she specifically didn't want to marry the dude. She was just doing it for funsies. But I felt like there was some tension between her and that girl because they wanted each other. But maybe I imagine that.
It's a possibility. It wasn't. She did not have a roommate in the manga, but in the show, it kind of played it off a little bit. I'm still not sure why. There were kind of subtle hints there. And the guy I think she was trying to get with because he was supposed to resurrect her family's sword style.
Yes,
That's
the
why she.
Moonlight Sword.
Yeah. The
So
way of
some
the
quick
moonlight.
research here, but as I had thought, South Korea is one of the most non-accepting countries of same-sex partners.
That's
So
why.
probably,
That's why
yeah,
it had to be so
probably,
subtle.
yeah.
But that's why they put it in there.
Mhm.
But
So, right off the bat, Josh, what do you think of this animation style? It looks a little bit different. Some of the camera angles kind of threw me off personally.
It reminded me of the animation. Reminded me of turds from a butt. That was the quality.
That's an old Tsunami anime. Yeah, I think I saw
Oh.
that one.
It was. I wasn't blown away by the animation. You could tell it was a webtoon.
Yeah. I think the other
Well,
one, Tower of God's drawn a little bit differently. It definitely doesn't look like anything you'll find on, say, Netflix or. My mind went
well,
blank.
are we talking animation or art style here?
Art style.
Okay. Yeah, the art style's a little wonky. It definitely has the webtoon identity there for sure. It kind of it kind like if you saw the trailers for this, it kind of looks like one of those like cheap Facebook ads that you get for like those Chinese mobile games.
The mobile games, yeah.
Yeah.
The Dragon Ball Z knockoff games.
Yeah, there's some like character design in this that I actually liked, but most of it is very like I guess cheap looking.
I was actually disappointed because I was, when I started watching it, I was under the impression that this was the prequel to God of War for the PlayStation 2. And it turned out to not be that at all.
I mean, I'm sure Kratos went to high school.
I sat there for 13 episodes thinking, where's Kratos? This is like that time I watched The Notebook because I thought Johnny Depp was in it, and it turns out he's not.
Funny that you mentioned the title because when I heard the title for this, I had to watch it because like people kept saying like it's gonna be good. The webtoon's really good. So like I had to watch it as it aired just because of that. But from the title alone, this sounds like it's gonna be really like dumb classic shonen over the top stuff because it's called like the God of High School, which just sounds ridiculous.
I was actually, I made a joke about that God of War thing, but I thought it was completely different. I was told it was like gods in high school, and that's not what this was.
Oh.
I thought it was like, Buddha going to school with Jesus, and then they would make fun of another religious figure who I can't think of because I don't know enough about religion.
Saint Youngman. That might be more what you're looking for. That's a manga. That's about Jesus and Buddha just hanging out as bros. That's the whole like thing. It's like a slice of life, and just Jesus and Buddha go around everyday life, and they're just hanging out.
I do like a good slice of life, like welcome to NHK. That was the first thing ever. That was after I watched that. That was the first time I ever heard the term slice of life.
Yeah, it's definitely a term that gets more used in anime. But
I guess when you think about it, everything's a slice of life.
in a way, yeah.
Is
But
an entire life a slice? Maybe it is.
Like I was mentioning, are those camera? What did you think of those first-person views when he was throwing strikes? I can't remember another anime that that shows that first person view while you're just getting your ass kicked. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
So you feel it. So you feel the desperation of getting beat down, just like you do in your life.
That's true.
I didn't mind the first person shots too much. I think it's like an interesting thing to play with on like the composition end. Uh, I don't know if it really worked as well as they would have wanted it to, because um, I think specifically when you do that, it kind of creates a lot of like suspense because you're not getting to see things from third person where you have a better view of everything that's going on. But it didn't really feel purposeful too often. It was a bold choice to go for it, but I don't think it worked out for him.
It was never at a time that really mattered.
Yeah, I think
So it wasn't when someone was taking the finishing blow and you saw how that affected him. It was just like somebody getting punched in the face 3 times in the middle of the fight.
yeah.
Oh.
And for me at least, I kind of expect this stuff when I or going into it because anytime I'm watching like a webtoon adaptation, I expect like weird choices like that because most of the time you're not getting a product that's been reviewed and like had to go through a publisher. You're just getting this person draws it out, uploads it, and then it's less of a refined process, which can be nice for accessibility, but
It can, but you always know. It's
yeah.
Right.
early it's like early Dragon Ball. You can feel that was Toriyama's vision and no one was going to do anything about that. Like you can tell this was a whole one-man show or one-woman show. I don't know who made it.
Yang G Park. It is a man.
That was a man. Was that the guy
Yeah.
who played Yamcha in the Dragon Ball Evolution movie?
Probably not.
Okay.
Uh,
I think
it
that
was
guy's
his
last name
brother.
was Park.
Yeah. Maybe his brother or his cousin or something.
Park's probably a fairly common name in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
Funny enough, on the My Anime List page for the God of High School writer, the comments are just all people shitting on him.
I could see that. Yeah, all this hard work and effort that he put into it, the hours, the days, just so
Well,
people
Dragon Ball
can
Evolution was shit. He should have done better.
I don't even know which one Evolution. I haven't seen Dragon Ball. I've only read it. I've seen like
weird.
bits and
What?
pieces throughout my
What's wrong
life.
with you?
It's so long. Like
Yeah?
500 episodes or 42 volumes. Like I've only got so much time to.
I took on the challenge of trying to catch up to One Piece, and I think it's a challenge.
I had a friend that watched that in like 3 weeks, and I don't know how.
Fast forward.
Quit
Or they skipped it.
masturbating.
They looked up one of those, what's canon,
Filler and
filler,
what's not.
they skipped them.
Yeah.
So
I
that
think he just
friend
had
did-
it on.
That's the thing. Like, you've never watched Dragon Ball, you've only read it. So you don't know which 2 characters have their driver's license.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
the
know
most
any of
important
the,
thing.
I don't know any of the filler.
You
I
have
had a friend. I had a friend that kept telling me stuff, and I was like, "That didn't happen." What?
Yeah.
And then he like looked it up, and he's like, "Wow, I just found out so much of this shit isn't even canon."
It's canon. It was animated. There was money put into it. It's canon.
It might be
Does-
canon in the sense that more people know that event happened versus people omitting it because more people have seen the anime than the manga. So
You don't even under. In
I
your
can-
mind, the fight with Frieza was like 2 volumes. That's not how it went down. It was 42 episodes.
yeah, everyone's like always talking about how dragged out something got. And I'm like, it was a little long, but like, come on. And then, yeah, I'm on the other end. Like, I know that they'll have like a whole episode that's just Goku throwing a kick, but
That didn't
I don't
happen.
know the pacings.
It's important.
I'm so much better. Like, there's some downsides to the streaming era that we're getting into, but man, it is so much nicer having anime that they don't have to try to reel you back in every single week with cliffhangers and
Dragon
nonsense.
Ball did. Dragon
Well,
Ball
we
was
still
great with
have that going
cliffhangers.
on, like with the new season of Digimon. You only get one episode a week, and then you go back and find out what happened.
Have not seen the new episode of Digimon, unfortunately.
Oh man. So
Or any of the new Digimon, actually. I don't know why I
it's
said new
impressive
episode.
that they've gone about 26 episodes with no fucking plot. It's amazing how every week they can have no plot and then make
Funny
another
that-
episode.
It's funny that you mentioned that, given that this kind of went 13 episodes with no plot.
Yeah. And then it just changed. Yeah, I like in the 12th episode when they're just like, the God of High School tournament is over. Time for plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times in this where I'm like, all right, we're finally going to get some like good story building. And then it's like, nah, psych. And you mentioned it earlier, but like, I don't know what the fuck was supposed to be happening in that like wedding episode or what the point of it was. It felt like the most out of place thing that maybe I've ever seen. Like, I think it was supposed to be character development for you, but
What? She
It
didn't
didn't
develop
work.
anything.
Yeah.
Like it was in a the beginning of the episode was a huge step backwards for her because it seemed like she was this strong person who wanted to rebuild the sword school on her own. And then someone's like, I'll do it for you. And she's like, yeah, let's do that. I'll give up my life and let you do this. And then at the end, she's like, nah.
Yeah, do you think it's possible to be like too faithful when doing an adaptation? Because like I feel like when you make an anime, that's something that you get the opportunity to like realize this didn't have a purpose. We can cut this.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do it.
You get another chance at editing.
Yeah.
But then again, when you tell Crunchyroll you're going to make 13 episodes, you got to find a way to make 13 episodes.
Well, that's the other thing. There's like, this is a long series. So they could have just, I guess they wanted to cut it off right here. So they had to fill those episodes with the preceding stuff. But man, I feel like they could have just omitted that. I would have rather had like you guys had the joy of watching any of the anime that like, the most specific one I'm remembering is Wonder Egg Priority, but like they have like a botch in the studio, so they have to give you a recap episode, even though it's like with Wonder Egg, it was like 6 episodes in, and then we get a recap episode with no break, and it's like, man. I don't know if you guys have watched anything with that yet, but I would have rather had one of those than
Cromartie High School did that, but that was more as a joke. I don't know if you've seen Cromartie High School. It's like these little, it's just off the wall, weird bull crap. And it was like 3 episodes in, they did a recap episode.
yeah, that sounds. Yeah,
Speaking of, I didn't like that how the tournament went down. Or all 1 versus 1, and then they're
Yeah.
like rules change. Now it's 3 versus 3.
I
Rules
didn't-
change again. We're doing this now. I didn't
Yeah.
like that so much.
Maybe I missed it, but I thought that first tournament they were 1 versus 1. I thought that was the tournament.
Me too.
I didn't realize that was the qualifying tournament. But I
Yeah,
guess they
that's
had to
what-
have said it somewhere, right?
well, I mean, in reality, like a tournament qualifier is kind of part of the tournament, in my mind at least. Like when I think about it, if you have like a regional event and then that leads into like a quarterfinals and a semifinals event, like I'd consider that all part of the big umbrella of the tournament. But yeah, the way they framed it, where they like don't tell us that until after the qualifying tournament's over, is kind of dumb, because it's like obviously just a cheap tool to like keep the suspense there until the end.
I was like, man, okay, so this tournament's gonna end really quick, and then I bet some weird shit's gonna happen because there's all these cults and shit we see for 2 seconds every episode, and one dude's talking about a key, and I think that guy's with the government or something. But no, they did something else.
And on the manga site, because I read this when they first came out with it, stuck with it week for years, and now to see it turned into a show, I thought it was gonna be something cool until I realized how delusional I was when the manga first came out. It's everywhere. The plots they kind of force on you versus welcome you into it. Not only with the tournament thing, but the where they get their powers from gods. There wasn't a lead up to that. It was just kind of something they threw in there and wanted to see where it went.
You're wrong about that. There was a lead up to getting the powers from gods when he fought the tournament official in like the third episode.
Yeah,
He had the Joker thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did have some development. I don't know if it was really good development.
What were they calling the god powers? They had a word for it.
I have no idea on that one.
They have a word. They have lots of words. So then the next big question, when did Lu Bu become a god? When did we miss that? Because I specifically saw him fight a god somewhere else, and they were like, this dude's a human.
Oh, we don't talk about that one anymore. I saw Record Writers coming out with that season 2, and I just want to see who wins between Hercules and Jack the Ripper.
No, you don't. You don't give a shit.
Just 30 minutes of my life that I could waste just to find out what I would have missed.
What 30 minutes? You know it's going to be 4 episodes.
Oh, that's right. Per fight. I forgot about that.
But anyway, Lu Bu's not a god. Why does you have Lu Bu's god power?
I'm not sure.
I'm talking to Bambi Raptor.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Which one was Lu Bu? These names are really throwing me off, especially with the time.
Yu's power?
Is that just the name of it?
No, Yu, the chick.
Well, yeah, there's Yu. I know her.
And
what is
she had Lu Bu's power? She like the dude on the horse?
Which doesn't make sense when I think about it. Lu Bu uses a spear.
Lu Bu uses a spear. There's so many problems here. We're knocking holes in. So Lu Bu was a Chinese general. Chinese, is that right?
Yeah, he's part of the Three Dynasty or the.
Okay, I just had to look this up.
3 Kingdoms.
3 Kingdoms. There we go.
I mean, like, what is really a god, right?
Not Lu Bu. I've seen other animes specifically tell me this dude's not a god.
Okay, but like, if someone harnessed the power of like Genghis Khan, that's way scarier than like Zeus to me. That's way more godlike.
See, what would make more sense if you've got god powers and then like ancestral powers? You know what I mean? Like your bloodline goes back to this important person. That would kind of make more sense.
That would make sense. Maybe you should write it. Maybe you should rewrite God of High School.
So,
can you write some God of High School fanfic for next week?
I might.
You go for like the God of College.
Yeah. You want to have slime girl powers or?
That's copyrighted, you bitch.
But I thought that's what fanfic was. My bad. Other powers that I thought were pretty cool. The main character Mori Jin is one of my favorite characters in history. Sun, the Monkey King. I don't know if you guys picked that up.
We can say Goku.
Yeah,
we all know we mean Goku.
Yeah, he's not the writer's not really hiding the Dragon Ball inspiration in this.
They are not.
It kind of is like
there was a Kameo wave with the blue dragon kick. And it said original, right? Or
the Mori Jin original, yeah.
The blue dragon. Super original.
Yeah, I feel like this kind of also loses its place because with it being heavily Dragon Ball inspired, it fails to even touch One Punch Man, which is something that we have like now. Maybe they were going for like we can't make more seasons of One Punch Man yet, so we'll just give them this and people will eat this up. But
I don't know, man. One Punch Man is clearly, well, it started out as satire. This was clearly as serious as they could make it. This was as serious as Michael Caine and A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I think that's part of why maybe it's not quite as good. I mean, even Dragon Ball itself felt like the goofy satire kind of thing at times. So, but like this, I think he's taking it too seriously. He's the guy on like Reddit arguing about Goku versus Superman and taking it super seriously and missing the point of like, just enjoy it, have some laughs, see some cool action.
Now, do you think Superman would have been better in God of High School or Dragon Ball Z?
I don't know if I probably God of High School, right? I feel like there's less, but
Less
I
stressful.
feel like there's less contention, but also like, yeah, it is less stressful because like he wouldn't have had to go to high school in the Dragon Ball world, but apparently even if you're super strong, you've got to go to high school in this.
Well,
And get your license
Gohan went to
and-
high school.
Yeah,
That's
that's
college too, right?
Probably.
that's like his mom though. His mom wanted him to be a scholar.
Well, people want what they want.
With that goofy little hat that he has as child Gohan.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms listening on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
We have a 1% female listenership. So I'm sure someone in that 1%
What's up, assholes?
made a baby. We're
another one.
We're doing a swear-free episode.
Oh, Justin, you're a
Yeah, you fucking bitch. What the hell?
you're a valued member of society.
See, I already know you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Guys, come on.
I do appreciate that, and I feel like I'm gonna go to sleep now with some butterflies in my stomach.
That's
Mark,
what you
what
should.
did you think of God of High School?
So okay, I'm slightly biased. Also, sorry for being late, guys. But
We don't want
I'm
to hear any stories. Just
Yeah.
talk.
Josh is bringing up the DILF shirt. I'm a little biased. I tend to like fighting stuff typically more than other things.
But there were no sport.
Right. There
But
was
they
a
have the
few
Three
things.
Kingdoms reference.
Well, yeah, there's a few things early on that confused me. It's like, okay, first of all, I don't know why there's this weird trend of making every high school kid look like they're 35. Like
Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, like especially that dude that came from prison or whatever.
Okay, hang on. Are you talking about the 38-year-old who was still in high school?
Yes.
Okay, let's all just admit right now he was our favorite character.
Oh, the dude in the straight jacket.
Yeah. No. Why am I
The
blanking?
dude who went back to high school and he was trying to be super positive about everything, and he was 38.
Yeah.
That guy was fantastic, and he was the best part of the show.
See,
He
the old
inspired me.
kids kind of that felt like the most real thing in the show to me because
I liked when
live-
he was like, "Fuck them kids," and started beating up the little kids.
Yeah.
I live in Texas where they're like super serious about football and they'll hold kids back for like 2 or 3 years to like stack their football team.
Yeah,
So
I
you'll get,
heard
like-
there was a rule in Texas where you had to try out for football or else they kicked you out of the state. Is that true, or is that just
Yep.
a rumor?
I watched
Uh,
Friday Night
I
Lights.
am-
That doesn't seem true.
I am legally not allowed to answer that question.
All right, we'll edit that part out.
But for where you live, Justin, where it's mandatory that you have sex with your third cousin, that is a fact.
in Oklahoma, yes, that is.
Yeah.
I don't want to
that's
get
law.
started on
That's
it.
an actual fact.
I've been to Oklahoma twice, and yeah, I don't know why I went back the second time, but man, I don't know what you guys are doing over there.
Nothing is the answer.
Every restaurant I went in, like everything was sticky.
That's
me.
that's
not an Oklahoma thing.
That's actually solely
respond to that.
that's actually solely because of Justin. Like when you drive into Oklahoma, it's like, welcome to Oklahoma. Justin made it sticky, and then you drive into the state.
Believe me, everyone. That's not an Oklahoma thing. That's a me thing. I'll take blame for that one.
No,
I get excited meeting new people, because I get to tell them about our podcast, and I just kind of,
So there's two big things early on that confused the fuck out of me for this show. First, I don't understand why it's a high school tournament. Like, I don't quite understand why they're like, let's just make it just high school kids. And then you go right to the karate group outside. And I'm like, all of you are like 45 black belts. And you're bummed that you didn't get picked for this high school tournament. Which, to me, the guys that were running the tournament, I don't know if Josh thought this, it seemed like a poor imitation of the Black Club.
Everything's a poor imitation of the Black Club.
Fact. And so it seemed like to me, right? So, this is something that threw out the immersion for me. I don't know about you guys, but so it was a Crunchyroll produced anime, like original Crunchyroll or whatever. And when the first episode, you go into they show the arena and they're like, oh, this is where the tournament's going to take place. And Crunchyroll is one of the advertisers of the tournament.
Along with Webtoon?
Yeah, I was like, what? You already made the fucking show. What do you need to throw? Like, that's like, I
didn't understand that because like you can only watch it on Crunchyroll. Why are you advertising Crunchyroll?
They made it exclusively
Sell
themselves.
the space to someone else.
Yeah, they made it exclusively for Crunchyroll. It's not like it's legit a Crunchyroll original anime, like an actual original anime.
Like Welcome to Japan.
Maybe that was like
yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was like unsold ad space. Like they tried to sell that spot to Pizza Hut for like some promotion, but Pizza Hut wasn't buying it, so they had to leave the Crunchyroll on there.
Yeah, another like weird sample that is
forgot to put it on there.
Well, yeah.
Another weird sample is coming on to Dad's Anime Stash and wanting to watch The Bushido Geek and having like a giant light up sign in the background that says your name.
Yeah,
it's kind of like another example of the ad space.
It's what I do, man. This is what I do. You always need to know who I fucking am at all goddamn times.
Guys, if you want to buy that ad space behind
Mark, I can switch this out and say
directly.
something else. You pay me enough money, I'll make to say whatever the fuck you want. I even have an eggplant emoji I can throw up there. You know, I got an eggplant emoji I can throw up there for you guys. Like, you fucking pay me enough. Let's say whatever you want.
Next week I wanted to say Arby's with an eggplant.
So
the second big thing to me was that it seemed to me very early on that they were setting this up as like it's a normal world, right? Like no one has crazy things, crazy powers. It's a normal world, and some people are just better than others. But in theory, it's a normal-ish world. It's not like set in the like crazy in the future or anything. The dude gets his neck snapped clean, and they just put this little brace on him, and it just repairs his neck.
I don't know. I give them leeway on that because they talked about those nanobots.
They did, but it was like I was like, oh, like okay, like it was like, yeah, you can recover from any injury. I'm like, really? So I walked up to you with a gun because you said that there was no restrictions on weapons. I just shot you in the head. You're telling me these nanites are just going to rebuild your fucking brain?
And that's another good point. Why didn't anyone just walk up with a gun?
Yeah, they literally said, hey, it's a high school tournament. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And they're all using like wooden swords and an
gun
aluminum.
Is such a good weapon.
An aluminum bat.
Well, no, it's South Korea, so guns are outlawed.
That kid with the bat was smooth.
Very.
I've never seen someone deal an ass beating and read a book at the same time.
That, oh my god! I'm tired of these annoying tropes. They don't have to make it into every anime.
Well, this is another thing to me that was really annoying was that I'm so sick of the main character always having to be this goofy guy who does nothing but crack jokes, and then he can get serious when it's fight time. Like, stop trying to reproduce Vash the Stampede and other shows like it, and just fucking do something original with your main character. Because every like show in now is just, look, I'm a goofy, lovable high school kid, but don't worry, guys, I'm secretly a super badass.
Seven Deadly Sins. He wasn't a high school kid.
They're really trying to mimic that like success of like the early 2000s Adult Swim era.
Yeah, and it's like you can't, like, those shows were
we can't go back, guys. We all want to go back to the early 2000s.
We can't. Yeah,
we're stuck here.
Those shows were that good because they were original. Like,
you got the dichotomy of shonen protagonists, right? It's like it's either that or it's like fucking Aaron from Attack on Titan just whining that he's gonna kill all the bad guys.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like it's repeating itself so much, and that was kind of the few things that early on like threw me off with kind of high school, and I was like, normally I'm all about these kind of shows, these kind of animes, but it was like it just kept throwing me off. Like it wasn't like I didn't enjoy it, but it was hard to like get super invested into it.
Look,
Because
let's be real. Our main character, Morijin, was Goku. We all agree 100% that he was Goku.
Yeah.
So I actually have my biggest gripe, which hasn't been touched on with this show. But like being anime fans, you guys like bad anime bitches, right?
Of course.
Okay, so like
What
the
keeps me up at night.
bubblegum wrestling chick, she had like the best character design in the show. She was a bad bitch, and she's gone in an episode.
Mhm.
Fuck that. How you like put that much effort into designing that character, and we get it for like 5 minutes? I was
Is
mad.
there a wrestling anime? Now I think about
Yeah,
it,
I'm sure there
because
is.
wrestlers in
can't-
anime
Many.
don't last long.
Is there a wrestling anime?
I can't fault them too much
Oh.
for making a great character for one episode, because I always think back to the Dark Tournament and Yu Yu Hakusho when they had all these great characters and they were there for an episode or two.
Well, Yu Yu Hakusho just has so many great characters, though, right? This did not have many to.
No, it's also just because I just couldn't wrap my head around that, because they said it was a tournament where like the imitation Black Club picked the people that were going to enter, and I'm like, why do so many of you have files on high school kids? Like, does that not just seem like
I keep thinking back to something Justin said earlier. It's pissing me off that he said something that might have made a little sense. And like, we don't really understand why they have these god powers, but Justin said, you know, the one chick might have Lu Bu's powers because of an ancestral connection. Maybe it all goes back to that.
Yeah, so now we're combining God of High School with fuck. How am I blanking?
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
The show we all hated on Netflix.
Record of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So listen, God of High School.
You want to talk
was
about bad
supposed to
anime
be-
bitches?
God of High School was
Aphrodite?
already supposed to be a combination of Dragon Ball Z and Neon Genesis Evangelion. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah. Don't believe, I'm trying to check right now if so no word on any season 2. Right, no, and it just got confirmed I guess last month. I don't know. But
Cool, so I can ruin the manga for everybody.
did you read it?
Yeah, I'm
Did
caught
you
up.
read
on it.
past?
To you.
Oh, you're caught up.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it true
fantastic.
that it gets better? I heard it gets better
gets-
like right after season 1 ends.
If they were to skip this whole tournament bullshit, it'd be great.
That's
The
what
gods
everyone
come
has
in.
told me.
So
I'm
they
just gonna
berserked
ruin it
it.
for you, anyways.
So isn't the
Everyone
tournament-
has told me that they
whole
didn't
point?
need to start. Like everything that we've seen so far has pretty much no relevance,
None.
and like they could have skipped all of it.
Oh,
and, like,
so much.
The
Okay,
reason
so-
that this has no story is because everything starts after this.
So this is just, I'm guessing this is to set up whoever wins.
This was just
No.
to set up their search for the key fragments, the 7 key fragments
Right.
that are spread across the earth and turned into rocks because they made a wish and they'll turn back
Yeah.
in a year, right?
So we're adding in
they're trying to
Dragon
put a
Ball.
bunch of soul shards together to create this jewel.
So Inuyasha.
Yeah,
so,
essentially,
so Inuyasha.
the tournament is ran by the Six. The Six are all
The Black
underneath the
Club.
king.
Just call it what it is.
Well, yeah. Those guys are underneath the king. Essentially, they go all the way up the tournament. They beat the king. Once the king's dead, the gods are like, okay, well, now no one's protecting the world. The gods come down. That's when shit gets crazy. After that, it's all just spoilers.
So I don't know if it's
Okay.
just maybe they built this up as a tournament anime, and then everyone
It was
who's
not
caught
a
up-
tournament anime.
Yeah,
It didn't
anyone
even
who-
make it as a tournament. It doesn't even make sense.
No, it really doesn't. Especially like when it's like, all right, guys, we're doing the qualifying rounds. All right, there's like 100 of you in this room. All right, go fight. And I was like,
So
you're ripping off so many things right now.
It is,
well,
but I feel that it's all predestination, right? I mean,
Well, yeah,
whoever has the key
especially
is
to
gonna
me
rise to the
because
top.
it wasn't like guys just entered, right? They reiterated that it was a chosen tournament. I'm like, so you chose that many rejects for just shits and giggles? Like,
Well, I mean, how
God.
many people do they invite to the Olympics that have no shot, right? You gotta have competition.
well, enough that have talent. Like, even like the ones that don't make the Olympics, like, still have like elite level talent. There was guys in this tournament that were just like they just like walk on the street and they were like, you
And
come
one guy
here,
was
come into this
38.
tournament and get punched in the face.
Oh,
But
when you're
yeah,
given a certain quota, you just got to hit it, no matter what no matter what the odds are.
It just like it was just weird because they built it up as like this. All right, it's this chosen tournament, best of the best. All right, battle royal, go.
I have the issue that like normally the tournament arc is like what mangakas will turn to when they're like writing a manga and it's not doing well and they're like, all right, we got to bail this out. Let's have a tournament arc. If you're starting with the tournament arc, I feel like that's kind of a problem, right? Like,
Yeah, I feel like starting with a tournament arc, because I think one of the things that Yu Yu Hakusho did well is even when they didn't shine light on everybody, they spent so much time building up this tournament that when you did get introduced to a new character, you paid a lot of attention because you were invested in the overall idea of the tournament as a whole. So whoever was in it, you were already super invested in it. But with God of High School, they start this tournament right off in the beginning, like you said. There's no build up. It's just welcome to this tournament, guys. Look at these people beat the shit out of each other and apparently punch each other so hard that they get knocked through 3 feet of solid concrete.
Concrete's
never
not
done
as
that
tough as
before?
people think.
have any of you seen or read Slam Dunk?
No.
No,
Is that a sex move?
it is.
Yes, but
Okay,
it's
that's
also
what I thought.
the probably the best sports anime and manga of all time.
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Well, you haven't seen it, but I'd suggest checking it out. It's actually getting an anime movie this year after the yeah. But that for me, that's like if you want to do something tournament based, that one's like perfect. It focuses and builds like intrigue on all the teams before any of the tournaments happen. Like there are at least one player on each of the teams that have like distinguishing character features. They aren't just filler characters. So like the shit actually matters. And I don't want to spoil anything that happens in it, but
One of the guys has blue hair.
like-
And he's
probably
spiky hair.
it's anime, so would
That's how you know
yeah.
he's the main character.
I mean the main character has a red pompadour, so you know.
it,
It's well, speaking of Yu Yu Hakusho, actually, the mangaka for that took a lot of inspiration from Slam Dunk, so that should tell you about it a bit.
Slam
But,
Dunk retroactively took its ideas from Yu Yu Hakusho.
facts.
Yeah, it was the time travel.
We all know that everything came from Yu Yu Hakusho.
You can't prove time travel's not real.
Exactly. So therefore, it's theoretically possible that everything came from Yu Yu Hakusho. Technically, it's theoretically possible everything came from Jaburai. Welcome to Jaburai Park, and we're just
Oh, we don't talk about that dimension. So
that's the dark timeline.
all in all, it sounds like we're kind of all the same on this anime here. Do we want to get to the wheel and ratings?
Let me tell you about my absolute favorite part of God of High School. You guys, do you remember at the end, like the bad guy, the main bad guy who turns into a baby, then turns into a god? He was very on point for being the dick bad guy.
Yeah.
And my favorite part was at the end when like whatever god power was literally eating him, and the dude who, you know, one of the main good guys reaches out and he wants to grab his hand, and the bad guy goes, "Don't touch me, you trash," and slaps his hand away. I was like, man, that's so good. That's so good.
I also just want to know.
No redeeming features. You got to have a character with no redeeming features every once in a while.
You do, and this is a random like tidbit of information I just want to know because I think randomly in things. I really want to know what was written on their permission slip to get out of school to enter this like quote unquote death tournament. Like, I just want to see what it said written on their permission slip when they handed it to like their teacher. Like, why are you missing a week of school? Oh, I have to go like technically kill people, but they get revived by these nanites. But technically, it's murder for a little bit.
What permission slips? None of these people had parents.
That's what I'm saying. I really want to like
They
see
only-
this.
no.
I really want to see this high school part.
That's why they only find orphans. That way they don't have to get permission.
Yeah, just
You
walk
can
into
put
the
orphan- you can make
principal's
orphans
office.
fight each other. Who are they going to tell?
Go to the principal's office. Can I see a list of everyone in this school that doesn't have parents? Or like maybe really absentee parents, like they work all the time, they're on vacation, so the kid's home all the time by themselves or something like that. Do you have anybody like that we can just like, I don't know, borrow for like a week or two? It would help. It would really help if they can punch through solid concrete. If not, it's fine, but that would really be beneficial. Also, since I judge this every week, really shitty intro and outro music.
I don't know, man. I agree. I can't say they're not shitty, but I feel like they're shitty in the same way Berserk was shitty. And they were so shitty I liked them.
I thought the OP for this was all right. I mean, it wasn't really great, but I mean, it's more the visual appeal because visually I really liked it, but the song is
The
all
opening
right.
I didn't care for.
I didn't like the opening at all. The outro was better, but the opening to me was like it didn't need some weird techno Dead Mouse remix.
We needed Limp Bizkit for every anime opening. Just throwing that out there.
Well, facts.
My Way is a beautiful song.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I give it a. If I'm gonna give it a rating, like I said, it wasn't that I hated it, but there wasn't really anything that could like grip me into being like we've talked about before, like where if you reluctantly play the next episode, you kind of have an idea where your rating's gonna go, and if you're really excited to play the next episode, you have an idea where your rating's gonna go. I was in like that weird middle ground where like I didn't hate that I had to keep clicking continue, but I was like, there's probably other things I could do. So I'm gonna give it a C-.
When I watched this, I was actually doing it while I did cardio at the gym. So I feel like it was a little bit of a better experience for me because, when you're working out, just watching pointless, storyless fighting kind of hits better. If you're like laying down, you're probably thinking more like, damn, this kind of sucks.
Right, I gotcha. What would you give it then? Did you explain the rating system?
No.
God, I
Fuck's
hate you.
sake, what? Oh my fucking.
So you can rate it as low as an F-, as high as an A+, or if it's one of your favorite animes of all time, you could rate it an S.
Yeah. So Yu Yu Hakusho demon ranking, but we do pluses and minuses too. So you can go like F to S plus.
I'd say I'm pretty close.
You can rate it
to-
S+.
I'd say I'm probably pretty close to Bushido Geek over here. Probably like a C, maybe C-. I'll go with a C. It has like moments that are like cool enough to not make it a terrible watch, but I'm not gonna suggest it to anyone. I'm not gonna rewatch it. But like I'm interested enough to where if a season 2 comes out, I will watch it because I've heard enough good things and it didn't like completely suck. I've definitely seen worse stuff. It's not the second worst anime I've seen.
No,
as I
there's
said, my
there's
co-host.
definitely worse, but it didn't live up to its potential. Justin, I'm gonna assume A.
I thought about it for a little bit. What brought me back down is the watercolor fight. Love fight scenes, but the throwing abstract art in the form of black and white watercolor paint was horse shit. I didn't like it. I did like the first person for some reason. All in all, I'd say a C+. I know where the story's going to go. I do look forward to watching it, but as for just this, if I saw just this, not so much.
Right. Well, because season 2 hasn't it's like just being produced right now, so like this is all you really have to judge it off of.
Right.
Like Crunchyroll.
Was it in production now?
They said last month it was confirmed, so it's probably an early production.
Gotcha.
Josh, what about you?
This is weird. This is weird to say. Do you guys ever watch the Drew Carey show?
Yeah.
You
There
mean
was an
Hoopline?
episode where Drew got sued for sexual harassment, and the reason I'm bringing that up is the lawyer or the judge in the case told him that the most detrimental thing to Drew's case was Drew himself. And like I think the most detrimental thing about this anime was itself. Like it kept getting in its own way of being a good story.
Yeah. No, I agree. There was definitely a lot of potential. They just never really utilized it in the right way, and they kind of just dropped the ball on simple things.
But here's the
I
thing.
feel
It's weird to say, and I'm going to be the outlier here. I liked the potential, and I know I didn't have a lot of great things to say about it, but I am excited for a season 2. And as embarrassing as it would be to tell anyone I liked God of High School, I did like it, and I think I liked it more than everyone else here. I'm going to give it an A-.
Wow. That is significantly higher than the rest of us.
I know.
I'm not familiar enough with your other ratings to know like
For him, that's
how that kind of holds up.
for him that's high.
And okay,
I think the
but-
only thing you've read higher was Digimon.
Digimon got a very high
Digimon
rating.
and Vivi Fluorite Eyes Love Song. He gave
Oh yeah.
an A or an A
Such a good
plus.
show.
A or an A plus, I think, is what you gave.
I gave
one.
that an A+.
That one was amazing. I am still blown away by how good that was.
I've heard good things about that one. Is that one written by the ReZero writer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was I've heard
Yeah.
really good things about that one. I was interested in it.
Yeah,
But
it's really good.
That
It's definitely
season of
very
anime had a lot of stuff to watch and a lot of stuff I needed to catch up on as well. So
No, I agree.
So we got our
as-
overall ratings. We're going to send those off to the Math Factory.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
should
all
let
right.
us know what that is in a week or two.
All right. Time to break out the hardcore math. And
You could break out the hardcore wheel.
in one of our favorite clips of me doing math on what our ratings fucking ended up
We
being.
got the C.
We got all right, fine, I'll fucking do it. We have a C plus, a C minus, and an A minus. So we're roughly around a B minus because there's more of a mean on the one side.
That
More of a
doesn't
B
sound
minus.
right.
It's
We're gonna
hey,
have someone
I'm the
look
math
into
guy. We all know that.
I mean, you just
Uh,
like assign a GPA weighting to it.
No, we have a very
Great
complicated
on
math
the
system.
curve.
Yeah, we grade on on a curve too. Yeah, so
We do have a specific formula for combining our ratings. It is on our Patreon. If you want to support us at Patreon /DadAnimeSash.
And you too
go
can
on
use
there
it to rate your own animes. Confuse
Yeah.
the fuck out of yourself.
I think people will be disappointed if they
Well,
do that
yeah.
and find out there's literally nothing there.
There's really nothing there, not yet. Okay, so as because we always do this. So Bam Raptor, do you have 2 animes that you want to recommend that I add to the wheel before I spin it that you think good or bad that you want us to watch?
Okay, so first I need to I need to ask each of you, what's the worst anime you've ever seen?
No.
Record of Ragnarok.
Welcome to Jabberai
Bubblegum
Park or
Crisis.
Bubblegum Crisis.
If Record of Ragnarok is as bad as it's gotten for you, I feel like I need to throw a bad one on here for you.
Have you seen Record of
So,
Ragnarok?
Yeah, it's just like really shitty animation, but like the story's all right. And Aphrodite has huge titties.
The story is not like there's 20 minutes worth of story in 13 episodes.
And a shit
Aphrodite,
ton of
man.
boo-boo fighting.
Aphrodite.
Was there like 3 fights in those 13 episodes?
You know there are like real boobs you can see on the internet, right?
Yeah, or you can
Well,
just
yeah,
ask
but
Justin.
like they're not Aphrodite.
Hey, $20 on OnlyFans,
I
man.
bet you could Google Aphrodite's real boobs.
You
and,
probably
uh,
legit could. I mean, I guarantee
I might be
you Roman's
biased
probably
because
Oh, dude,
I
I'm
might be
getting a
biased
statue
here
next
because
week.
Record of Ragnarok, the manga is actually pretty good, even though they shit all over the anime with that terrible animation style. But
I know.
Like-
I was like, why are they still drawing? Just
I-
put down the pencil. The
Yeah,
character was done
I'll go ahead and
40 things ago.
here. I'll give you a really good one and a really bad one. So for the bad one, go ahead and throw a Happy Sugar Life on there. It's the second worst anime I've ever seen. I don't want to put Infinite.
That's in my top 5.
Okay.
I
Really?
don't believe that. After talking to you for 55 minutes, there's no way. It's so bad.
What's
and
the
for
what's
a
the really good one?
What was that one? The Happy Tree Friends back in like was it the
Oh, the
early
carts-
2000s?
yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing like that,
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay.
It's
that shit was messed up.
if you want spoilers, it's basically about like a girl that is like manically, psychotically obsessed with a small child.
Yeah,
That's
All right.
that's
Got
how
it.
girls
I
are.
don't
once they
I
have
don't
kids.
understand how there's like
It
a
is.
fan
It's
following for
facts.
this. But for the good one, I got to make sure you guys haven't. Have you guys watched Made in Abyss already?
It might be on there already.
It's on the wheel.
Let me
It's
check.
on it. Okay, that one's really good. So
It is. It is on. It is on the wheel.
Have you guys seen Monster? It's an older one, like 2005.
No, but I've been told now, like by a few different people, that I need to watch Monster. That it's
One of the
Monster,
best
2005,
animes.
it seems so much
All
older.
right. I'll throw it on here. All right, Monster. We're up to 85. So I
The
want
manga, I
100.
believe, is from 93.
Okay, that would make sense.
One of the best anime / manga of all time, though. So
All right, this is the glorious wheel.
It's okay.
It's the best
Yeah.
fucking thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Man,
It's the best thing about our show.
It's kind of the Justin.
I'm
wheel.
interested.
It's fine.
There's a
I've
there's
done
a
a
Happy
helicopter
Sugar. Oh,
better
okay. You
than
guys already
this
have ping
person.
pong.
Yeah, that.
Ping pong
Yeah.
was in my like. That was like the third one I was gonna go to. You guys have some good stuff on here. I'm glad I put a complete pile of dog shit on there to bubble it out.
I'm really
Yeah.
hoping for Spy Race this week.
Yeah,
Usually we're the ones that
what
put
was
the pile of dog shit on here, so that's
Yeah,
kinda
we're also. What was the
refreshing.
one that we're dreading if it ever lands on? There was like
Oh,
I
another
thought
one.
it
that
was
we're
Little
really-
Busters.
I
Oh
see
yeah,
Spy-
yeah.
Do you have Spy X manga on there because it doesn't have an anime? Because it's currently being adapted into one.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have heard.
Someone suggested that we like if it lands on that, we review the manga
Oh,
You're not
the
reviewing.
anime is very good. I'm watching it currently.
and the anime. But all right, let's see what we got. So this will be for 2 weeks, right? In 2 weeks,
Yeah.
this will be what we review. God, don't be shit. Just don't be dog shit.
Come on, Wheel.
Oh, you gotta
Season
be.
one, season 2. What the
That's what I'm
fuck?
talking
Hey.
about.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Not Happy Sugar Life, but
That's
it's
the first time the wheels ever landed on something that someone literally just suggested we put on the wheel.
well, you
And
guys
it
are in
almost
for.
it almost went to Happy Sugar Life. It was like, no, all right, here you get a good one.
Yeah, you guys are in for a nice treat with that.
All
one.
right.
Monster.
That was
everyone.
exciting.
There we go. That's what we're watching in 2 weeks.
The guy that wrote that, he did the Tokyo Olympics, like graphic design stuff. That's how high of regard Japan holds him in. So
As always, I'll let me pull up a description here, so we can read it. Story revolves around Kenzo Tenma, a Japanese surgeon living in Germany, whose life enters turmoil after getting himself involved with Johann Libert, one of his former patients, who is revealed to be a dangerous serial killer.
Classic mix-up.
Like, whoops. Who knew? Who knew? I just wanted a new friend, and I found a serial killer. Oh well.
Sounds super serious.
C'est la vie.
I bet
It's
none of the
pretty
characters
serious.
turn out to be Goku at all.
Yeah, this sounds like it's gonna be like actually like really serious and dark and like.
it is very dark.
So
but
it is
it's-
74 episodes.
We're not going to watch all 74.
So
First 25.
I would say
first 25, 30 is usually what we go with if it's anything longer than
it's
that.
5 seasons.
Oh well, then
know.
okay, then just watch first season, guys.
Yeah. I don't think the seasons are broken up very well, depending on where you watch it, because I'm not sure if it's on any streaming platform.
We'll find
It's
it.
on YouTube. It's on
Well, then there
YouTube,
you
so you
go.
don't even have to pirate it.
Yeah, there you go, guys. YouTube. Watch it on YouTube. Watch Monster. That's in 2 weeks. Do we give Justin a shot to give it
I
do the full
butchered it
wrap
last
up?
week.
You did. It's true. All right. Bam Raptor. I don't know. Justin didn't tell me anything. Do you have like a podcast? What do you want to plug?
Yeah. You can find me again on the Antibodies podcast, which is on Spotify, Stitcher, and all the other podcasting apps. You can also find me on Twitter at Tasteful Toe Pics, which is a deceptive Twitter handle. I don't post toe pics, but if you follow me, maybe.
Nobody's here for that.
Oh, I was for a little bit, but then he said there's no toe picks.
As always, toe picks. All right. Do we have next week all wrapped up yet? We'll make that a surprise.
It's going to be a surprise.
Surprise.
All right, surprise. All right, so stay tuned next week, everyone. We'll have surprise guests and surprise topics. Stay tuned for 2 weeks when we review the anime Monster Season 1-ish, depending on how it's broken up. And then don't forget, end of the month, the ever-returning anime quiz show. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, everything else, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. Dad's Anime Stash, whatever your podcast platform you're listening to, make sure you review us at the end of this episode and give us 5 stars and tell all your friends. And
we're not a podcast.
And other things. And we'll see you guys next Friday, same time, 10:30. And make sure you're very carefully sneak the videotape back under your dad's bed before your parents get home so you don't get grounded.